Oscar Wilde, who was imprisoned at one point. He was gay and was accused of sodomy or whatever, and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. And while he was in prison, he wrote, this was around like 1900, I think. And he wrote this series of letters to one of his lovers called De Profundis. And he's basically imagining Christ as an artist, and as an individualist who was finding his own way to the divine, and therefore upsetting the Pharisees and like the Jewish priests who had established how the religion is supposed to work. And here's this guy who coming in and saying, no, I know, I have my own personal connection to this. I just want to read a few lines from this text. I think it just speaks to a possibility for making of art something holy, something sacred, and something that would have a religious effect, a religious origin and a religious effect. So he says, Christ was the first person who ever said to people that they should live flower-like for perfection, and that it is through self-realization that we attain to it. He says, Christ's place is with the poets. He said things that had never been said before, and that the imagination of man had never dreamt of before. He took the entire world of the inarticulate, the voiceless world of pain, as his kingdom, and made of himself its eternal mouthpiece. He sought to make men realize their aims by showing them the loveliness of those aims. He pointed out that life is a thing so tremendous that to lose the sense of its grandeur is to lose all. He understood the leprosy of the leper, the darkness of the blind, the fierce misery of those who live for pleasure, the strange poverty of the rich. Sorrow and beauty, suffering and joy were to him realities of the soul. Two more. He saw that the love was the most tremendous secret of the world. That love was the most tremendous secret of the world, the creative energy behind life itself, the spirituality that flows through all things. In this way, Christ remains the supreme artist. It is the imaginative quality of Christ's nature that makes him this supreme personality of art. He sees the soul of a man, of anyone, of everyone, behind its sin, and that is why he can forgive it. And it just goes on and on like that. And I think it's a vision of Christ that I think speaks to a much broader audience, say, than the usual moralizing version of it. And whether or not Wilde was sincere, and I mean, I don't know that he really had a conversion experience here. I think he was trying to be outrageous and, claim this religious figure as though he were, a queer aesthete like him. But it's a compelling vision that I think helps us maybe nowadays in our celebrity culture rediscover a sense of what it might actually mean to, do God's work as artists, right? To not turn away from the less glamorous aspects of human existence, but to celebrate them in a sense.